You ever have one of those ideas, a passion, a truth inside you that, well, nobody else seems to get? It's lonely, right? It's frustrating. But what if that feeling isn't a sign that you've failed? What if it's actually a signpost pointing to something way, way bigger? All right, let's dive in. We're going to unpack one of the most powerful and honestly kind of tough ideas about what it means to be great. So let's just get right to it. Is it really that bad to be misunderstood? I mean, it sure feels like it, doesn't it? It feels like rejection. It feels like you just couldn't get your point across. And yeah, it stings. A lot. But there is a totally different way to look at this whole problem. And this is the line that flips the entire script. It's from Ralph Waldo Emerson's essay, Self-Reliance. And look, he's not just trying to make us feel better here. He's throwing down a challenge. He wants us to see being misunderstood not as some kind of weakness, but as a potential hallmark of greatness. Wow.
Okay, but before we can fully jump on board with that, we gotta be real. Let's acknowledge the truth. Being misunderstood, it usually hurts.
So why does it hurt so much? Well, think about it. We live in a world that is obsessed with fitting in, with social alignment, getting likes, getting validation. In that world, being misunderstood feels like a giant flashing neon sign that says, you're out of step, you're wrong, you failed.
But this is where Emerson comes in with this powerful reframe. He says, hold on, what if it's not a mark of shame? What if it's something else entirely? What if it's a badge of honor?
Now, for Emerson, this wasn't about, just getting your words mixed up. He was talking about something much deeper. He was talking about the friction, the static, that's bound to happen when a truly new idea, he called it spiritual innovation, smashes into the old way of thinking. It's not failure. It's the byproduct of having courage. It's a signal that you have vision.
And this, right here, this is the core of it. A truly original idea isn't just different, it's disruptive. It doesn't just, add a little something to the conversation. No, it challenges the comfortable, conventional wisdom that people have built their entire lives around. And that's why people push back so hard. So you might be thinking, okay, big claim, but Emerson doesn't just pull this out of thin air. He's got receipts. He points to what he calls the Holy Company, a lineup of historical giants who totally prove his point. I mean, just look at this list. This is the company you're in. Pythagoras, his ideas were just too weird, too mystical for people. Socrates, literally executed for teaching kids to ask questions. Jesus, crucified for challenging the powers that be. Martin Luther, branded a heretic. Copernicus and Galileo, put under house arrest for daring to say we're not the center of the universe. Even Sir Isaac Newton, his genius redefined reality, and at first people were just skeptical. These weren't just rebels. These were the architects of the world we live in now. And every single one of them was deeply, profoundly misunderstood by the people of their time. So that begs the question, right? Why? Why does society always seem to misunderstand and push away its most brilliant, forward-thinking minds? Let's dig into the psychology of it. This really breaks down the core conflict here. And what's crucial to get is that it's rarely about people being evil or malicious. It's about this. The visionary sees a new truth, but the status quo feels like it's being attacked. The visionary offers innovation, but the status quo is terrified of disruption. See, people aren't just rejecting an idea. They are defending their entire worldview, the very foundation of their security and their identity. Think of it like this. A truly revolutionary idea threatens the social scaffolding that everyone is standing on, the very structure they depend on for stability. So the person with that idea, they're not seen as an innovator. They're seen as a threat, a heretic, a fool. Well, at least until history finally catches its breath, looks back, and realizes they were right all along.
Okay, so that's all well and good for the historical giants, for the Socrates and Galileos of the world. But what about us? How does any of this apply right here, right now? Let's pull this idea straight into the 21st century.
Man, the pressure to conform today it's just immense. It's everywhere. You've got the obsession with likes and metrics, which turns your self-worth into a numbers game. You've got that corporate buzzword, team alignment, which can just quietly smother a brilliant idea before it ever gets a chance. And the fear of failing in public, it's cranked up to 1,000 by how fast everyone can judge you online. All of these things, they just push us into the safe, comfortable box of conformity. And that's the exact opposite of the brave originality Emerson was talking about.
Okay, I want you to really let this next one sink in. If your ideas fit perfectly into today, you are not speaking to tomorrow. Think about that. If everything you do, everything you create gets instant universal applause, then by definition, you're not building the future. True innovation is always a little bit out of step with the present.
So this means we have to completely shift how we think about this. Emerson's famous line, "It's not just some nice little comfort blanket to pull out when someone doesn't get your art or your business plan. It's a call to action. It's a summons. It's a command to be brave."
So, how do we do it? How do we actually wear this badge of honor? Well, number one, trust your experiment. You got to live in your own genius without constantly looking over your shoulder for validation. Number two, endure the loneliness. And yeah, it will be lonely sometimes. Originality often is. 3, live your truth. Do not, I repeat, do not water down your voice just to fit in. And last, number 4, when you feel that sting, that pain of being misunderstood, I want you to stand a little taller because you need to remember the company you're in.
And all of this brings us to the final and maybe the most important question of all, because this isn't just about history or some dusty old essay. This is about you, right now. So, what are you willing to be misunderstood for? What idea, what truth, what vision do you believe in so much that you're willing to stand alone for it? Now that is a question worth thinking about.